and unless it's repeat customers or repeat business. I mean, there's never, I'd be amazed if anybody walked into any showroom and asked for a specific brand by name into any kitchen showroom. So I don't think we'd be any different, really. I don't. Yeah. As I say, unless they've had one 10 years ago or 15 years ago and they've had a good experience with it, then why wouldn't they go back and ask? But other than that, I don't think you get many new customers just walking in. I mean, it's a difficult one because there's a little. We do a little bit of press advertising in some of the glossy magazines. So again, unless they pick that up, then I don't think they'd be aware of the brand anyway. To be fair.
Yeah. Okay, that's interesting. You touched on the marketing a little bit then. What are your thoughts about the current marketing materials for each brand? Just mentioned about the couple, 2 or 3 of the glosses that we go into. That's probably from an outsider's point of view. That's probably about it. We've just started appearing in a couple of KVV review magazines as well, which won't. But that again, it's more of an industry magazine rather than a retail magazine. An end users magazine. So we're appearing a bit more in the trade press. But as I say, that's more for internal and people that's already in the business anyway. Yeah. With regards to being out there, it's very limited what we do. It's incredibly limited what we do in the greater scheme of things. But are you talking? I mean, the brochures, I think, do a decent job for us, albeit some are incredibly dated now. But they will just pick those up. There's no external advertising with that. It's just, as I say, they'll go into a showroom and pick up whatever's available. Marketing, as I say, it does obviously, of course, it needs an overhaul. Right, that's interesting. So you think all of it needs kind of an overhaul, really?
Well, I think so. I mean, it's been, it's served a purpose up to this point, but now, as you say, I know that Bob and everybody else is keen to step it up and move it on, and obviously something needs to change because it's been the same old for, with all due respect to the guys in marketing, it's been the same old since I've been here. There's nothing massively changed in 10 years. There's been additions, and don't get me wrong, for things like the find a retailers, there's things that they're trying to do, which is great, but I don't know, there's nothing massively changed, in my opinion, although I'm sure Chris will argue the toss, but I don't think there's anything massively changed over the last 10 years, I don't think, realistically.
Okay, that's interesting. That's really interesting, actually. Okay, I'm going to move on slightly and ask you a bit more about Amiga as a general place. What does it feel like to work at Amiga?
When I'll use this word yet again, here we go, this blue chip, it was very, it was, but at the moment, there's a bit of discontent, to say the least, so I need to be careful on that. But there's been such a high turnover of staff, both on the guys on the road and internally, and lots of different reasons. The presses have been immense for lots of different reasons on production and stock and service, and everybody's getting it in the backside and stuff. And obviously, and don't get me wrong, it's Amiga, they pay very well, but they also want the pound of flesh as well. And they do. So, but as I say, it's been very, very testing, very, very incredibly testing over this last at least 2 or 3 years. But it was a company when I first joined. It was a fantastic. It still is. Like, but I'm not trying to blow smoke up anybody's backside. I do love the job that I'm doing, I really do, but it's very testing, to say the least, at the moment. But it's if you chop, I think I'm fair to say, if you speak to any of the guys, honestly, I think the vast majority of the guys really enjoy working here, and I'm absolutely no different. But it's very, very testing at the moment, for sure, for different reasons.
Okay.
It has been, and I'm sure it will be a great company, and I mean that sincerely, just because it has been. It's done exceptionally well out of Amiga as well, and by the same token, they've done well by me as well. Put a shift in and brought a lot to the table for these guys as well. But But yeah, it's definitely been the turnover of staff speaks volumes to me over this last 2, maybe 3 years, which doesn't bode well from if you're an outsider looking in thinking, in fact, we want to be joining. When I joined, God and Benny, you could rip your right arm off to join something like Amiga.
Yeah.
You really would, and I don't think it's quite the same at the moment. But hopefully we'll get back to where we need to be soon.
That's interesting. Yeah. What do you think? What do you think special about Amiga?
I think what's special. I do go in that one. There's loads of things they do exceptionally well.
Yeah.
And they have done in the past. I think, as I say, they have they try. I think one of the best things about Amiga as a kitchen supplier, I think they try and be for the most part, they try and be a leader rather than a follower.
Right.
So they're quite, whilst they won't do anything knee-jerk Amiga, they do try and test and prod and poke all sorts before they roll anything out.
Yeah.
But they do tend to be ahead of the game with a lot of things that they bring to the market.
Yeah.
And I think that is a massive strength for Amiga. They don't just rest on their laurels, they will invest. We're a very, very strong not use that word again. But they're a very, very strong company to tie up with. They sometimes it comes across as arrogant. It's owned by one bloke. It's a cash-rich company. We're a strong, strong business partner to be with.
Yeah.
And I think that is really, is special. And I think that is something that, we do try and, we're trying to get, if we're up against a competitor, I think that's a great strength of ours. That we have been about for a long while. We're exceptionally good at what we do. We don't rest on our laurels. I mean, Bob and the rest of the team, they just invested best part of £20 million over this last 12, 18 months, 2 years. It's huge investments, and it will not stop there. It will carry on. They're never happy with what they do. It's everything's always the next stage. And I think that, again, as you say, is a very proactive rather than reactive business. I think that is a massive strength for us.
Right, that's lovely. What do you okay, this next question is a bit of a weird one, but give it a go. If Amiga becomes famous for one thing, what would it be?
Amiga, probably watches. Oh, that's the wrong Amiga. Okay. If Amiga was famous for one thing, random question. I think you've got me. I think if I had to put a tag on, I just touched on it before, the fact that one thing that does amaze people, whether it's famous for it or not, I doubt very much, but one thing that does amaze people is actually owned by one bloke.
Yeah.
Whether it's famous or not, I don't think it's, or whether that's a USP, I'm not too sure, but I think it probably is a USP to a certain degree. Yeah. It is actually owned by one bloke, and in this industry at the moment, it's pretty impossible to find it anywhere else. That does operate like that. Famous for, I don't know. That's a difficult one. I'm struggling, to be honest, other than something like that.
Yeah, it's one of those weird ones. It's trying to unearth if there's any sort of hidden gems or something that's really unique about the business.
I think it's like I say, I think the reason why, I think the whole package has seen them be successful rather than just one thing. I think, as I said, they do listen. They're quite receptive to different ideas, and they're perceptive and actually acting on it. What I said, they're proactive rather than reactive. They still think about things far too long, in my opinion, but then they're multi-millionaires and I'm not. So we've got to listen to him because, Bob's a very switched on bloke. But like I say, us in sales, I mean, our place is run by accountants as a rule, and we're sales managers and accountants tend to have two different agendas. So we want one thing, and accountants make sure it stacks up before we dive in. But that's the way it is. But so famous for one thing, I'm struggling on. As I say, I think but it's. Probably the fact that it still is owned by one person, and he, I'm struggling on that one, Matt. Sorry, pal.
No, that's fine. Yeah, I think, to be honest with you, like you said, the fact that you talked about the fact that it's owned by one guy and stuff like that is interesting in itself. So that's good. Okay, on the flip side of all that, then, if you could change one thing about Amiga, what would it be?
If I could change it.
Yeah, one thing you could change.
Can I change a few?
If you want, actually, yeah.
If there's from a personal point of view, there's far too much reporting, but that's from a personal point of view. But if I could, again, from a personal point of view,